What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back. That is right. The NBA season is back. Cannot wait. It's my bread and butter. Absolutely love the NBA season. Had a ton of success last year with the NBA season, especially the playoffs, closer to the finals. Had a few close, almost takedowns, a couple of top 10 finishes. The core plays were fantastic. So, super, super pumped and excited for this NBA season to start tomorrow. This video will be uploaded Tuesday morning. So, for this, for these games to start today. Can't wait. It's going to be a fantastic season. So make sure you guys make sure to stay locked in, hit that like button and subscribe. Follow my Patreon down below. That's where I'll start putting up daily write-ups as well as my core plays, as well as my price pick plays. I'll put all that up there for you guys once again, like I did last year. Looking to continue the success there. So can't wait. Let's dive right into the slate breakdown. Let's not waste any time here. 200K up top to first place. Wish it would have been a Millie Maker. I'm not sure what DraftKings is doing here with only 200K up top to first place, but still, bunch of money to be won. Two great games here: Lakers, Nuggets, and the Suns versus the Warriors. So let's jump right into it. First game we have is the Lakers versus Nuggets, 5-point spread. Little revenge game narrative here for the Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the Nuggets. 228 game total, which is decent. Nothing terrible there. And then Suns, Warriors, 1-point spread, 234 and a half game total there. So obviously you see a little bit more scoring there, a little bit less defense in that Suns Warriors game. So starting off here, we'll just do a team by team breakdown for this first one. Still going to figure out kind of how I want to do the breakdowns for this season, but we'll just continue with the team by team breakdowns here. So for the Lakers side here, the big news is that Jared Vanderbilt is out, and there is no Jalen Hood Shafino, who I do think Hood Shafino probably would have saw maybe 5 to 10 minutes in this game here. Talented rookie, but nothing too crazy there. But the big news here is Jared Vanderbilt. Obviously, during the playoffs, didn't play a ton. Wasn't the most efficient, or just didn't really do a ton. Really is one of those players where he'd play maybe 1 out of 6 games. He'd actually go for like 15, 20 plus fantasy points. But otherwise, he was just a very, very low output kind of guy in terms of fantasy score. But that is the news there, just because it will open up some value and some other plays we can kind of take a shot on. Because if you want to take down this 200K to first, you're gonna have to get different in some sort of ways. Because a lot of these price tags are pretty cheap across the board for these studs. Over time, they will start to increase as the season goes on. But yeah, I don't mind taking a shot at getting a little bit more contrarian and riskier just for these first few games, just because teams are still trying to figure out who they're going to give minutes to, who they're not going to give minutes to, if they're going to play an 8-man rotation, 9-man rotation, 10-man rotation, or if they're going to have to play really close to like a 7.5 man rotation here for these games, going forward into the season. So Lakers side here, starting five, going to be LeBron, going to be AD, going to be Austin Reeves, D'Lo, and Rui. Pretty sure that's going to be the starting five. Obviously, make sure to stay updated with the news there on my Twitter. I'll retweet the starting lineups for you guys there. So make sure to follow me, link down below. But that's going to be the starting lineup in terms of price tags. LeBron, 9-3. I don't mind him here at this price tag. Obviously, not going to see 48 minutes. But if we go back to the beginning of the regular season last year, as you can see, he's going to be playing close to 35 minutes, if not a few more. Now, he is old, another year older. It'll be interesting to see if they kind of slowly start to ramp up his minutes. Maybe he sees, I'd say 32 is probably safe for LeBron at that price tag. 32 minutes for LeBron, I think is a solid play. Not my favorite. I don't know if I'm going to play him tomorrow. Would rather go to a few different areas, but once again, it's LeBron. He does everything. So solid price tag. It really comes down to ownership for me. Like with him being 9,300, I could see a lot of people thinking the same way, where they don't want to play him just because there's that little chance that he does see a few less minutes to start off the season. He's more expensive than a lot of the other studs on the slate. So a lot of people might not look to him at first, and that could lead to a spot to get contrarian and play him if he's going to be like 5-10% less across the board compared to the other superstars. So that's my LeBron take there. 80, really, really, really like him here. Obviously, a tough matchup here trying to guard Jokic. Jokic absolutely feasted on him. But as you can see, he had a really good series against Jokic there. 69 fantasy points, 51 and a half, 57, 49, double-double in every single game there against Denver. So he's a really solid option. It's just one of those things, can he stay out of, injury risk, out of foul trouble? It looks like he should. He should probably be playing close to 36, 38 minutes in this game here. So, Davis is a very, very solid and strong play here. Christian Wood, don't love the price tag here for Christian Wood. He's going to be like the sixth man, seventh man off the bench here. Still, it's just very risky. It's not one of those scenarios where I don't think they're going to be looking to him to be the main offensive threat off the bench. They still have a few other people they're going to go to. So I just say right now, more of a wait and see approach to see kind of what they do with Christian Wood in his minutes. They're at 6,200. Just not my favorite price tag for a guy who's super, super score independent. Not the best at defense. Very, very foul prone. In this matchup, there could be times where he gets shifted onto Aaron Gordon or even Jokic, and that's just going to be foul trouble for Christian Wood. So I just don't love the price tag there. If he's going to be super, super low owned, don't mind taking a shot on him. But once again, don't love that price tag of 6,200. Austin Reeves, 6,100, kind of the same thing. Now his minutes did, absolutely skyrocket there in the playoffs. Really came into his own form there in the playoffs. So as we can see at the beginning of the season, his minutes are kind of all over the place. Now that he's kind of a solidified starter, they paid him. I do expect about 35 minutes here from Austin Reeves. So it's not like a terrible price tag. It's just not my favorite. There's 6,100. Going to be like the third, fourth option still. Nothing's really going to change there. Maybe he gets more pick and rolls. Maybe he gets a little bit more involved, but still, I think it's just an okay price tag. Kind of just indifferent on Austin Reeves there. D'Lo, I do like D'Lo surprisingly, just because he's had a really, really solid, really, really solid summer league. In the preseason there for D'Lo. That's what I meant, not summer, but preseason for D'Lo. He actually looks really, really good. It seems, talk is cheap, but it seems like he actually is very focused on trying to be a way better defender this year. So what to see? So I do like the price tag. He should probably be in line to see 30 minutes around that mark. Really just depends on if he gets in foul trouble and if he hits his shots because it's one of those things. D'Lo, he says his stuff. He had a good preseason. It's one of those things. He can come out get in foul trouble right away. They do have Gabe Vincent as a backup. They could easily go to replace D'Lo. So it's not like they're gonna be stuck with D'Lo. Like they can easily replace him if he gets in foul trouble. If he starts off slow, if he makes a few bad passes, it is D'Lo. As much as he's trying to change, he still has those tendencies. So he's definitely risky, but I do like the direction he's heading from this preseason into the season. 6K, kind of expect around 30 minutes. He was aggressive in the preseason. Obviously, LeBron didn't play in a few of those games, but still, I think he's a solid play there in the mid range at 6K. Rui 5-1, really like him. Had a few big calls on him last season during the playoffs there. He was fantastic for us. Had him in a few of the big blow ups games there for Rui. So I think it's one of those things they've grown to like Rui even more over the offseason, going into the preseason, going into these regular season here. So I like Rui a lot. As you can see during that Denver series, they needed him. Denver is a pretty big team. As you can see, he averaged 28, 30, 34, and 42 minutes there. They really relied on him. I think he's a very strong play at 5,100, especially with there being no Jared Vanderbilt to kind of take up those, soak up those backup power forward, minutes. So I do really like Rui right now at 5,100. He's kind of score independent, but still, should be seen close to 30 minutes. I'd say at least 25, if not close to 30 there for Rui. 5.1K. I think it's very, very solid here. And as you can see, he did have a decent series there versus Denver. Nothing too crazy, but pretty much got 20 or more fancy points in every single game there. And he got better this offseason. So I do like Rui there at that price tag. Moving on down here to Gabe Vincent, 4,500. I think we should see probably 20 plus minutes out of Gabe. It's one of those things, really depends on how D'Lo's doing. Really depends on how Reeves is doing. If one of them gets in foul trouble, one of them's doing bad, they could definitely look to Gabe Vincent. He's not afraid to shoot it. He's pretty productive. It should be even more productive with Anthony Davis and LeBron on the court. Should be more open threes for him. Should be more assist opportunities for him. So I think it's a solid spot here, 4,500. I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually decently popular for this slate tonight. So yeah, I do have some good interest there in Gabe Vincent, just more so of an ownership play there for me. In terms of other people who should play, so obviously we have LeBron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people right there in the rotation. Do you think we expect some Max Christie? Now the minutes, I'm not really sure. I'd plug it in between 10 to 15 minutes from Max Christie. Maybe if he's hitting his threes, maybe he gets close to 20 if someone else in the starting lineup is not hitting his threes, but still, I'd say around 10 to 15 at most for Max Christie at that price tag, more just so kind of a dart throw play for me. Same thing with Jackson Hayes. Should probably see 10 to 15 minutes. Really only going to be backing up Anthony Davis there. Anthony Davis should probably play close to 9 10 minutes in the first quarter. That kind of seems like his rotation there. Jackson Hayes will probably play into probably the 6, 7 minute mark into the second quarter. If he can get away with it, obviously he's going to be guarding Jokic. So there's a ton of foul trouble there for him. So I'm assuming he'll be pretty low owned for good reason. Obviously, a ton of foul trouble there, but still, 3,600 for a guy who can be productive. You can definitely go there, but he's not a play for me. And I do think the kind of the last guy off the bench there will be Torian Prince. He'll get some of those, power forward, small forward, minutes there. Should see about 20 minutes, maybe a few more. I think he's a solid value play at 3,500. Going to be getting some open threes, decently productive. So I'd say he's probably my favorite value play there on the Lakers at 3,500. Moving on to the Denver side here. Um, no big news here for the Denver side as of right now. Everyone seems to be good to go, healthy. So starting lineup going to be Jokic, Murray, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, and KCP. Six man off the bench will be Christian Brown, DeAndre Jordan, and I do think Najee will probably start to get the center minutes over DeAndre Jordan. They just paid Najee. Is a guy who can space the floor. He can hit threes. Obviously, did not play a ton there in the playoffs, but still, he can be productive when he's out there if he gets the minutes. Now it's just one of those things. Will he get the minutes? That's a big question mark. At the price tag, don't mind him. Not my favorite play. It's just more so if we get some more clarity in whether he's going to be a part of this offense, part of this team here. But I think he should. I think we can expect at least 10 minutes out of him there for some backup center minutes, 3,900. I think that's an okay play. Then I do think we'll see maybe a little bit of Reggie Jackson, nothing too crazy there, maybe about 10 minutes or so. And I do think Peyton Watson will kind of be the Christian Brown 2.0 this season for the Nuggets. Obviously, I think Christian Brown will be kind of the sixth man. Peyton Watson will kind of be that, seventh man there for the Nuggets. Power forward, he's kind of one of those long rangey guys that can be super productive when he's out there, as you can see in some of these random games. Obviously, they're without some of the starters there, and he can kind of do more, but still, he is pretty productive when he does get the minutes. 3,800. Wouldn't mind taking a dart throw play on him, but obviously, that it's definitely risky. But if you're looking for cheap value to get contrarian, he is definitely in play there. But Jokic, 10K, absolutely love that price tag. Probably won't see that price tag for the rest of the year, as you can see here. Started off at 10.3K, and then it was pretty much in the 11Ks the rest of the season. So Jokic going against the Lakers here, as you can see in the playoffs, they were really unable to stop him. 88, 70, 45, and then 80 fantasy points there against the Lakers. Had his way, pretty much averaged a triple double. I mean, it's Jokic, going to be a great, great play there. Yeah, I mean, not much else to say there. Jamal Murray, he was great to us last season. Had some huge, huge games there, as you can see, against Miami, even against the Lakers. I mean, he's fully back. He's a star in this league. Really, really like that price tag at 7,500 there for Jamal Murray. MPJ is more of the boomer bust play here. It really comes down to can he hit his threes? If he can, he's going to be productive and he should blow out that price tag of 5,800. But that's the risk there is can he hit his threes and can he stay out of foul trouble? He tends to be very boomer bust, very hot or cold. Had actually a decent series there against the Lakers, as you can see 37, 29, 41, and 33. Then kind of fell apart there against Miami. First game was great, last game was great, but in the middle, which was not great. So that's the risk there with MPJ. I think it's a fair price tag for him at 5.8K. Moving on to Aaron Gordon, kind of the same thing. Another boomer bust play. Now, he's kind of one of those players that you like to get to if there is someone injured in the starting five, whether that's Jokic, whether it's MPJ, one of those people being injured, Aaron Gordon usually steps up and has a solid game. So at this price tag, I think he's a solid play, more so of a contrarian play there. It's really one of those things. If you're playing him at 5,700, you're looking to get contrarian and you're just hoping for that random Aaron Gordon game. I do like the matchup, against the Lakers. He should have some opportunities where he gets these smaller Lakers guards on him. But once again, more so of a contrarian play there for me, 5,700. KCP, another one of those plays, we kind of get three plays in a row where all three of them are just very boomer bust plays. Like they're priced about right. Don't feel great about it. They're all going to see, at least KCP and Aaron Gordon will see 34-ish minutes, if not more, a few more, unless they're playing really bad. MPJ is only the one that, his minutes aren't necessarily the safest. Even if he's playing decent, they could definitely look to guys off the bench like a Christian Brown. Him and KCP are kind of the first two when it comes to if one of them are doing bad, they're going to get yanked for Christian Brown. So that's the risk there with both of them. But still, I think they come in at fair price tags. KCP is pretty score independent. Actually did pretty decent there in terms of steals during the playoffs. He does have some upside if he's hitting the threes, and that's kind of the thing there. It's like just like MPJ, if they're hitting the threes, they'll get the minutes and they'll definitely pay off their price tags. But that's the risk you run is will they hit those threes? Christian Brown, I don't mind him. As we saw in the playoffs, he was actually pretty solid. Once again, though, don't know how productive he's going to be. I do think his minutes will be safe. He'll at least get 15. Probably sees 20 minutes a game. Should probably see 20 minutes in this game. It's just one of those things. I don't know how productive he's going to be. It's not like his role has changed. It's just one of those things where his minutes are more solidified. So 4,400 for him. Don't have a ton of interest in him right now. And then in terms of the value, don't really have a ton of interest in this value unless you're looking to get, super contrarian to go to Najee or Watson, which I don't really think you need to. But if you want to, you can definitely go that route. Moving on to the second game here, obviously a little bit more appealing in terms of the game total and score here. KD, this is just way too cheap of a price tag. Even if there is Booker and Beal, obviously there's that risk of like 3 stars. How's it going to work out? I still think KD is the safest just because he is great at rebounding. I do think they're going to use him as a point guard a decent amount. Obviously, they said, Booker might be point guard, Beal might run point guard, but still, it's KD. That price tag is way too cheap there, 8,400. One of the best players to ever do it, one of the best shooters ever. I do think we can kind of expect close to 35 minutes here from KD, if not more. And even if these two guys play, it's still one of those things KD could easily get there. So love that price tag there for KD at 8,400. Now if Booker and Beal are in here, I'd really only go with one of them. I'd probably prefer Booker just because, it's his team, it's his offense, but still, I don't know. Really don't know what to do here with Booker and Beal. Beal's price tag is pretty appealing, but one of those things where he could take a backseat to Booker and Kevin, KD. So it's just one of those things. It's kind of a wait and see approach. It's more so of an ownership play here. If the ownership's going to fall to KD and Booker, don't mind getting contrarian to going to Beal. Now, obviously, it makes it easier if one of them or both of them are out. Then we're going to load up on the Suns. But right now, I do think both of them will be good to go. In here, in this game here, they're both going to be playing close to 35 minutes. So it's one of those things. The starters are probably going to be Kevin Durant, Booker, Beal, Nurkic, and then probably Grayson Allen. He looked a lot better than Josh Okogie. So that'll probably be the starting lineup there. In terms of the starting lineup, I really like Kevin Durant. I really like Nurkic here. He had a few big games there in the preseason, 6,300. I don't know if it's the best spot in terms of, Golden State is kind of small. Maybe they run a small ball lineup. Even without Draymond, they could definitely run a small ball lineup. Maybe Nurkic, they look to limit him because of that, but still very productive here. Not necessarily going to be out there, shooting the ball, scoring, but once again, having Booker, having Beal, having KD, being able to spread the floor, run ISOs, it's going to lead to a lot of rebound opportunities and a lot of dump offs in Nurkic. So I do really like him there at 6,300. He has insane upside, 40, 50 plus. If he gets a double double, he's going to have a lot of assist opportunities as well. So I think Nurkic, is a really good play here at 6,300 in this spot. Obviously, the small downside is there could be a chance he does get some limited minutes just because Golden State goes small. Grayson Allen, I think is a fine play, 4,900. Nothing too crazy there. Had a few pop off games there in the preseason, but more so, I think that's just preseason. Obviously, going to be the fifth option here on this team. So I don't love the price tag for a fifth option at 4,900. Eubanks, off the bench should probably see about 20-ish minutes. I think he's an okay play at 4,700. Really just going to be backing up Nurkic. Nothing too crazy there. So really don't love the price tag, but he should see, 15, 20 minutes around that mark. Eric Gordon, kind of, off the bench, probably sees 15 to 20 minutes. I think he's a solid play there, 4,300. Okogie, going to be more of a defensive-minded guy. Should see about, 15 to 20 minutes. So those will be the three main guys off the bench. Eubanks, Gordon, and Okogie. I do think we will see a little bit of, I do think they'll sprinkle in some either Nasir Little, maybe some, Bates Diop or Watanabe. I do think they'll mix in one of those guys, maybe all three, just for a few minutes each. Nothing too crazy. Don't think there's a need to drop down to any of these guys. I'd really just keep it above Okogie if you're going to go to some value here. Okogie, Gordon, and Eubanks. But out of those three, my favorite would probably be Gordon. Otherwise, I'd probably go to the value on like the Lakers side there. with some of their guards. Moving on to, I think that's everything I wanted to say for Phoenix. Obviously, the big news there is Booker and Beal. If they play, if one of them plays, if they both play, if they're both out, that's the big news there. So it's more so wait and see approach. But yeah, if they're both in, really comes down to kind of ownership for, if we're going to be playing one of them, if we're going to be playing two of them, if we're going to, fade all three of them, that's not going to happen. Too cheap at price tags, but you know what I mean. Really comes down to if they're both in, then what's the ownership on them? Because I like going to the more contrarian one, which I would assume it'd probably be a Beal. I do think most people are going to lean towards Booker and Durant, but still, I think it's great price tags on all three of them. All three of them should be able to eat. I mean, Kevin Durant's dealt with it in Brooklyn there with Kyrie, with Kyrie, with Harden. I know they only played like what 12, 13 games together, something crazy like that. But Kevin Durant is used to playing with superstars alongside of him. He did it in Golden State. He did it in Brooklyn. Booker has kind of gotten used to it last year with Kevin Durant there. I think more so Beal, he did have a few years with John Wall, but nothing too crazy in terms of, two other all-stars he's playing with. So I do think Beal might take the back seat. But once again, if he's going to be low owned, I do like the price tag because he should be pretty aggressive there at that price tag, 6,900. And then moving on to Golden State here, Steph Curry, 9,200. Going to be really hard not to get to him here. It's a slight downgrade that there is no Draymond. Obviously, Draymond Green opens up a lot in terms of this offense. Does kind of hurt the offense a little bit there, but still, they have Chris Paul, who's another great playmaker. It'll be interesting to see who they start. Will they go small with Steph, Clay, Paul, Wiggins, and Looney, or will they look to have a big lineup out there with Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Looney, and Kaminga? I mean, Kaminga had a great preseason there, but it's one of those things. Will it come down to? It's going to come down to either they start Paul or they start Kaminga. So really, it just depends on who they start there. But I think both are definitely in play. They should both be playing 20, 25 plus minutes here in this matchup. So obviously, Steph going to be leading the team there. Love that price tag. I actually really like the price tag for Clay. As you can see here, was god awful in the playoffs, especially against the Lakers. Another one of those guys who's boomer boss, kind of like KCP, kind of like an MPJ. It just comes down to can he hit his shots if he can. Should get there. Obviously, he's pretty score independent at times. So I do think Clay will be decently low owned. And if that's the case, I don't mind getting to there at 6,500. But I will throw Steph in for right now. Kind of like how they have him as shooting guard eligible there now that Chris Paul's on the team. Definitely makes it more interesting there. Obviously, with Draymond Green being out, it's going to open up more minutes for a few more minutes to Looney, a few more minutes to Kaminga. And I do think they'll run out some, Moody a little bit, but also some Dario Saric. We might see some of that, or possibly Trace Jackson Davis. So kind of to, see what the feel is. Hopefully, Steve Kerr gives us some news there in terms of who he's kind of thinking to back up the power forward and center position. But yeah, I think that's kind of who we can look to. But Chris Paul, 5,600. He's going to be more so of a wait and see approach, kind of see if they start him, if they don't, how many minutes he plays off the bench, kind of what his role will be like in this offense. Going to be more so of a playmaker. Don't really think he's going to score the ball a ton, but there will be those games where they're going to look to him to score because he is still deadly in that pick and roll. But yeah, as of right now, I just don't love the price tag and kind of his question mark on what he's going to be in this offense. So if you're looking to get contrarian, he'll probably be low owned. Wouldn't mind taking a shot on him if you're making a few lineups. Wiggins, I do really like this price tag. None of those guys, he should see probably 36 minutes. They're going to really need him in this game here. So I do think it's too cheap of a price tag for a guy who can go easily for 40 plus. So I'm going to throw him in my lineup there, 5,500. Moving on down here, Looney. I mean, we saw him have some monster games there in the playoffs. 47, 44, 27, 43, 37, 43. So he is monster upside, especially there with those rebounds. They're going to need him to be out there guarding Nurkic. Now, obviously, both teams can go a little bit smaller, so that might limit his upside there. But 5,300, I think it's a fair player for Looney. Kaminga, be interested to see what his ownership is. Will people chase the preseason? If he starts, I think he's a solid play. If he comes off the bench, a little bit riskier, but still, I think it's a fair price tag for Kaminga, who should be more aggressive this year, who should get more looks, but still it's Steve Kerr. We can always get trolled. They could say he starts, they can limit his minutes, or if they say he comes off the bench, he could still get his minutes limited. That's just the issue there with Steve Kerr. Um, so I kind of want to wait and see what the starting lineup will be. I like him more, obviously, if he starts, but if he comes off the bench, I still think he's a decent play, but obviously a little bit more risk of, will he get the minutes? Not sure. But yeah, 4,600, I think is a fair play. It really just comes down to ownership. If he's going to be super low, super high owned, probably not going to play him. But if he's going to be decently owned or low owned, I don't mind taking a shot on him. Gary Payton should see some minutes. I'd say anywhere from 10 to 15, possibly 20. I think he's definitely in play as a value piece at 3,900. I don't know if Pod will get much, maybe 5-10 minutes at most. Don't think there's a need to get to him. Same thing with Moody, probably 10-ish minutes, 15 maybe. I guess he's more of a dart throw play. And then in terms of like the center power forward play, I think it's going to come down to either will they go with Sarich, who obviously has a ton of NBA experience, can hit the three, or they go with a more athletic guy in Trace Jackson Davis, who is a little bit smaller but still very skilled, big, can't shoot, but very very good at setting screens, rebounding, and post work down low. So I do think there's a way to get contrarian. He's definitely dart throw play, Hail Mary play here, but still, if you're going to make a few lineups, I don't mind getting risky and taking a shot on him there at 3,000 because I do see a path to him playing at least a few minutes, if not more, especially if he only gets in foul trouble. They could definitely look to him, but still want to get just a little bit more information from Steve Kerr today in terms of, who is going to be kind of that starting power forward and then who he might look to off the bench there, whether it'll be Dario, whether that will be Trace Jackson Davis. I do think Dario will be the safer play if we get no news, but still, I do think both are in play if you're looking to get some cheap value down there in the center power forward range. So that's my thoughts for the slate. These videos will be a lot quicker, obviously moving forward once we start to get a feel for these teams. But as right now, this will be kind of my core plays: Jamal Murray, Steph, KD, Wiggins, and Hachimura. As I mentioned, gonna have to wait for that Booker Beal news. We'll have to wait to see who they start for Draymond Green, whether that's Chris Paul, whether that's Wiggins, whether that's Kuminga, or maybe they get weird, go with Dario Saric. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, nothing too crazy there. Some decent value options, but some obviously very, very cheap studs. I really don't mind going with a more balanced build just because you could fit, 3, 4, maybe even 5 studs in your lineup and really not have to pay down for risky value. So, in terms of my lineup, my core plays, this is what it's going to be for tomorrow: Murray, Steph, Kevin Durant, Wiggins, and Hachimura. So, hope you guys have a great day. Hopefully, one of you guys or I take down the 200K to first place tonight. Once again, make sure to stay updated with the news on Twitter during the day today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.